if you are somebody that sets a goal, applies the necessary tactics, smashes the goal to absolute smithereens, but then still finds a way to fall back into old ways, I believe there's a perfectly logical reason for this happening. And in this video, I'm going to bring to life exactly why that happens, but I'm also going to give you some actionable steps to make sure that you have clarity going forward so that you can never fall into this trap again. Because if you live your life on this roller coaster of setting the tactics, achieving the goal, falling back into old habits, setting another goal, achieving the goal, it almost gets to a point where you're thinking, what the hell is the point? I don't want you to be there. There's a perfectly sensible reason for this, right? So in this video, I'm going to be covering what you're good at, why you are able to get results, but the gap that leaves, something that I call the elastic band analogy, how to fix it, job done, right? For those that are new to the channel, welcome. My name's Paul Green. See me there, looking all pretty. I'm the British paratrooper, special forces grappling addict, got about 7 years of grappling experience. And these are all the guys that I've trained on my one-to-one coaching program. Some of them body recomposition, weight gain, weight loss, getting shredded. Some of them come to me with injuries and we get over the injuries. Links in the description if you fancy some of that. Right, what you are good at. Setting a goal, staying focused, applying the necessary tactics, and showing the discipline required to get you from A to B. Right? Simple as that. Applying the tactics, not getting distracted from the mission, and just doing it, right? Getting the result. Happy days. That is what you are actually exceptionally good at. Even on good days, even on bad days, you're still going to do what is required. However, that does leave a pretty gaping gap, and so many people overlook this, by the way. So you probably find that years of physical abuse can be turned around pretty quickly. And because it's able to be turned around pretty quickly, what's left behind is your beliefs, your thoughts, your problem solving, your self-respect, your confidence is still as it was before you went on this physical mission. So you've got your beliefs, your self-respect, your confidence, as it always has been, and arguably the reason why you are in your current situation. Applying new, really good effective tactics, but you've never actually stepped out and believed that you were a better man, a more effective man, a more confident man. You've always believed the same, right? So the physical results, what I'm trying to say is the physical results come quicker than the subconscious growth of your belief system. However, if you are conscious about your thoughts, problem solving and beliefs, then you can get these results every single day just by stacking the reps, and it can come in your favour. More on that shortly, but let's just elaborate on what I mean by this. So your current character, your current character traits is your current situation. If you look in the mirror and what you see in the mirror is a representation, not of your body, it's a representation of your character. How you thought, how you've problem solved, and your beliefs up until the point in which you took that photo, right? It's also a measure of your values, the rules in which you live by, and your standards. It's also a measure of all of those things when shit hits the fan. And there's just no hiding the fact that that's exactly what it is, right? So that's what I mean when I'm talking about your character, right? Let's get a little bit fancy here. I'll put myself down here as if your goal is me. I'm not that fucking bad. However, I am a pretty good person to go off. So you have your current beliefs, your thoughts, how you problem solve, your values and standards as a man. A lot of people don't even have these. They just float through life and think whatever they think, and half the time they think what other people think, and no one's actually took the time to actually think about these things, right? So if you have this, which is, it's like, yeah, you know, I think what I think, I feel what I feel, it is what it is. This is just you, right? It's somebody that thinks that eating healthy is a diet. Problem solving is, well, I want to look good for a holiday, so I'm going to lift some weights. Do you know what I mean? Like really low frequency. It's like, character traits. And I'm not saying it's inherently bad. I'm just saying it's really passive. Now, when you actively focus on this stuff, Jesus Christ, right? So what I'm actually trying to say is, you and your current character, your current thoughts, your current ability to problem solve has got you in currently this exact situation that you're in now, right? But you apply 2.0 tactics, right? You eat well, lift, do more cardiovascular training, you walk more, you sleep better, you drink more water. But you still believe that you are this person. You still believe that you don't have much confidence. You don't really stick to your word that much. You have low self-respect. You still have all of these beliefs that you've always believed because you've believed them all of your life. It might be childhood, it might be relationships. There's still all of this underlying stuff, this character stuff. But you apply the tactics. So, 1.0 character plus 2.0 tactics creates tension. So when you eat healthy, you might be a little bit frustrated. Instead of being grateful that your nutrient-dense meal is going to be packed full of micronutrients and it's going to serve your training sessions and recovery, you're a little bit frustrated that it's annoying because you're on a diet. So see, the low frequency thoughts and the eating healthy creates tension. How you problem solve? Same sort of things, right? Creating tension. So you will achieve your goals though. That's the thing with this. You will, by applying the 2.0 tactics, you will achieve your goals. However, the problem that I'm making, and this is for people as well, that struggle with momentum and keeping momentum going, it's because there's too much of a build-up of friction, right? You will achieve your goal just by doing the tactics, right? That's the reality of the situation. If you fall off, it's because there's been too much of a build-up of friction, right? Because this character stuff is causing too much friction of your ability to stick to the 2.0 tactics. However, the people I'm specifically talking to in this video is the people that do achieve the goal, but snap back, right? And you're snapping back because you never upgraded your software. You're doing the things to upgrade the hardware, but you're passive in your approach to improving your hardware. And this is more important than anything else you will ever think about in your life. Being passive about this is honestly, it's very common actually, right? But the moment you're active in your approach with this, you are literally going to absolutely smash it. So let's say, for example, you achieve your goal. You've done your tactics, you've achieved your goal. How many times have you done this? And then it just like snapshots straight back to this, believing that you don't have much confidence, believing that you're not capable of great things, believing that you're just a normal bloke, believing that you must say yes to everybody else, all the rest of it. And then as a result of this, then you start applying 1.0 tactics, eating unhealthy, not lifting weights, not doing cardio, not walking, not sleeping well, playing online games, watching porn, all of these things. And it's all because the 1.0 character wants to keep you in survival mode. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So, I've mentioned that. Trying to upgrade the hardware, which is fine. You will be able to upgrade the hardware. You'll be able to upgrade your body physically. You'll be able to overcome injuries. You'll be able to get stronger, faster, fitter, all the rest of that stuff, while believing that you're a creature. You will. However, there'll be friction when you're doing so. You will hate training. You will hate eating nutrient-dense foods. You will hate going to bed 2-3 hours earlier. All of this stuff you will hate because your character is not set up and it's not aligned with your ambition physically. Okay, so in order for you to do this for yourself, right, you have to think about building the 2.0 version of yourself from a character standpoint, right? So you need to think like the version of yourself that has already achieved the goal. Instead of just passively doing tactics. You passively do tactics, you pay lip service to the most important things. And it's this, your mindset. You solve problems like the version of yourself that has already achieved the goal. You hold the values and standards of the version of yourself that has already achieved the goal. You show resilience in maintaining them 2.0 thoughts when shit hits the fan. And you'll write these down, right? They'll be different for everybody. And this is something that I actually go through with all of my one-on-one clients before we even do our first training session. So, what it actually looks like is this. So it's a little bit more of a detailed version of this, right? I'll just kill myself here. 4 questions. What is your ultimate goal for the next 12 months? Right? Not the summer. Not just go 12 months. Ultimate goal. Ultimate physical goal. Right? Let's keep it physical. Because for those of you that have never done this before, it'll actually be very hard for you to write down a physical goal. Because you'll start talking about family. You will start talking about kids. You'll start talking about professional goals. I'm not interested in any of those things. Make sure this is a personal goal that involves absolutely nobody other than your own body, your own mind. Then you've got to ask yourself, what character traits must you possess every day in order to achieve this? How does this man live a 24-hour period? What time does he wake up? What does he do in the morning? When does he have breakfast? When does he drink water? When does he drink coffee? When does he have lunch? When does he train? When does he read? When does he work? When does he see the kids? Write it out. When does he go to bed? How does this man handle adversity? Because, listen, I always say this to everybody. Everybody is good when things are going well. But when people have adversity, their true colours show. And this is you being active about your character, right? And I say this, view adherence to this as the most important training session of your life, because it is. This is the reason why you keep falling back into old habits, because you allow them old habits to be present and you haven't actively created better thoughts, better problem solving systems, better beliefs. Hopefully that makes sense. You do this, the elastic band tension will be so far into the future, your goal that you set will be effortless, because you already believe, you already live in the way the man has already achieved it, so the goal will become inevitable. There'll be so much less tension in you executing the tactics. Be that character today. Gentlemen, that is it from me. I will see you tomorrow.